हरे कृष्णा। हरे कृष्णा। सो आज हमारा श्रीमद् भागवतम क्लास थोड़ा छोटा होगा बिकॉज आज एबिट्स में हिज ग्रेस भूरीचरण प्रभु जपा रिट्रीट दे रहे हैं 10 AM to 1 PM। सो हम लोग वहाँ जाएंगे। सो विल फिनिश द क्लास बाय 8:45 और बिफोर। और आज शाम को हरिनाम भी है, तो आप सबसे रिक्वेस्ट है आप शाम को आइए 5 बजे। हम लोग 4:30 को टेम्पल से जाएंगे। 5 PM to 7 PM Harinam, and 7 PM Deenbandhu Prabhu will give class in Manikonda 7 to 8, and then we will be back to temple by 8:30. So we'll sing one bhajan by Govinda Das Kaviraj. What's the name of bhajan? It's a famous bhajan. Bhajahu Re Mana by Govinda Das Kaviraj. Bhajahu Re Mana Shri Nanda Nandana Abhaya Charanara Vindare. Bhajahu Re Mana Shri Nanda Nandana Abhaya Charanara Vindare. Durlabha Manava Janama Satsange Taraho ei bhava sindhure. Sita atapa bata barisana edina jamini jagire. Bata barisana edina jamini jagire. Vifale se vino kripana durjana. Chapala sukhala balagire. Idhana yavana putra parijana iti ke ache parati tire. Putra parijana iti ke ache parati tire. Kamala dala jala jivana tala mala. Kamala dala jala jivana tala mala. Bhajahu hari padani tire. Shravana kirtana Smarana vandana pada sevana dasyare. Smarana vandana pujana sakhi jana atma nivedana. पूजना सखी जाना आत्मा निवेदना आत्मा गोविंद दास अभिलाष रे Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Please read the translation.
O mind, just worship the lotus feet of the son of Nanda, which makes one fearless. Having obtained this rare human birth, cross over this ocean of worldly existence through the association of saintly persons.
Second, both in the day and at night I remain sleepless, suffering the pains of heat and cold, the wind and the rain. For a fraction of flickering happiness, I have uselessly served wicked and miserly men.
It is.
Hare Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Nashta Prayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. Hare Krishna. So we are reading from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, first canto, chapter number 18, entitled Maharaja Pariksit cursed by a Brahmana boy, and today is the verse number 7. Nanu dvesti kalim samrat saranga eva sarabhog kushlani asu siddhyanti netrani kritani yat nanu dvesti kalim samrat saranga eva sarabhog kushlani asu siddhyanti netrani kritani yat nanu dvesti kalim samrat Saranga iva sarabho Kushlanayasu siddhyanti Netrani kritani yat Nanudesti kalim samran Saranga iva sarabho Kushlanayasu siddhyanti Netrani kritani yat Nanudvesti kalim samrat Saringa iva sarabha Kushlani asu siddhyanti Netrani kritani yat Nanudvesti kalim samrat Saranga iva sarabha Kushlani asu siddhyanti Netrani kritani yat Nanudesti kalim samrat Saranga iva sarabhuk Kushlani asu siddhyanti Netrani kritani yat. Mataji's synonyms, translation and purport by His Divine Grace Sri Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Na, never. Anudvesti, envious. Kalim, unto the personality of Kali. Samrat, the emperor. Saramga, realist like the bees. Iva, like. Sarabhuk, one who accepts the substance. Kushalani, auspicious objects. Asu, immediately. Siddhyanti, become successful. Na, never. Itarani, which are inauspicious. Kritani, being performed. Yat, as much. Translation. Maharaja Pariksit was a realist like the bees who only accept the essence of a flower. He knew perfectly well that in this age of Kali, auspicious things produce good effects immediately, whereas inauspicious acts must be actually performed to render effects. So he was never envious of the personality of Kali. Purport. The age of Kali is called the fallen age. In this fallen age, because the living beings are in awkward position, the Supreme Lord has given special facilities to them. So, by the will of the Lord, a living being does not become a victim of a sinful act until the act is actually performed. In the other ages, simply by thinking of performing a sinful act, one used to become a victim of the act. On the contrary, a living being in this age is awarded with the results of pious acts simply by thinking of them. Maharaja Pariksit, being the most learned and experienced king by the grace of the Lord, was not unnecessarily envious of the personality of Kali, because he did not intend to give him any chance to perform any sinful act. He protected his subjects from falling prey to the sinful acts of the age of Kali. At the same time, he gave full facility to the age of Kali by allotting him some particular places. At the end of the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, it is said that even though all nefarious activities of the personality of Kali are present, there is a great advantage in the age of Kali. One can attain salvation simply by chanting the holy name of the Lord. Thus Maharaj Pariksit made an organized effort to propagate the chanting of the Lord's holy name, and thus he saved the citizens from the clutches of Kali. It is for the advantage only that the great sages sometimes wish all good for the age of Kali. In the Vedas also it is said that by the discourses on Lord Krishna's activities, one can get rid of all the disadvantages of the age of Kali. In the beginning of the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam it is also said that by the recitation of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, the Supreme Lord becomes at once arrested within one's heart. These are some of the great advantages of the age of Kali. And Maharaj Pariksit took all the advantages and did not think any ill of the age of Kali, true to his Vaishnavite cult. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakcharunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Utapad Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagara Jatam Sagana Raghunatham Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamsha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschata Deshatarine Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Tinamine Sri Varjvanvi Devi Daitai Kripabdhai Krishna Sambandha Vigyara Daine Prave Nama Madhuru Jala Premadhya Shri Rupanuga Bhaktida Shri Gaura Karuna Sakti Vigrahaya Namastute Namaste Gauravani Shri Murtaye Dinatarine Rupanuga Viruddhappa Siddhantantaharine Nama Gaur Kishoraya Sakshad Vairagya Murtaye Vipralamba Rasambodhe Padambujayate Nama Namo Bhakti Vinodaya Sachidananda Namine Gaura Sakti Sarupaya Rupanuga Varayate Gaura Virar Bhumistam Nirdesa Sajjana Priya Vaishnava Sarabhauma Shri Jagannathaya Te Namah Vancha Kalpataru Bhascha Kripa Sindhu Bhaivacha Patitaram Pavanebhyo Vaishnebhyo Namo Namah Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namine Gaur Tushay Namah Panchatattvatkam Krishnam Bhakta Rupa Sarupakam Bhaktavtaram Bhaktakam He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Adaka Tanamastu Jaitam Surta Pangor Mamanda Matergati Divyadvindaranya Kalpadrumada Śrīmad Ratnagara Simastastha Śrīmad Radha Shila Govindevo Prashtali Bhisevamano Ismarami Triman Rasarambi Vamsi Vata Tatastita Karsanvenu Soner Gopi Gopinathai Sri Astuna Tapta Kanchan Manus Sri Krishna Hare Krishna. So we are reading from the first canto, 18th chapter. You can do Hindi translation behind for devotees who want Hindi. And talks about 18th chapter talks about punishment. Maharaj Pariksit cursed by a Brahmana boy. So we'll do a little recap for the first canto of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. First canto of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam has total how many chapters? 19 chapters are there. And in the first chapter, first few verses, there are questions asked by whom? Who is asking questions? Sages of Nami Saranya, they are asking to Sukadeva Goswami. They asked 6 questions, which is answered in the 2nd chapter and 3rd chapter of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. Then again, right now what we are reading is actually answer to the questions of the sages of Nami Saranya. So in the 4th chapter, again, sages of Nami Saranya, they asked 4 more questions to Sukadeva Goswami. And in response to those 4 questions, Sukadeva Goswami speaks from, all the way from, Sut Goswami speaks from 4th chapter till 19th chapter of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. So what are those 4 questions in the 4th chapter? Anyone remembers? 4 questions in the 4th chapter of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, 1st canto, asked by sages of Nami Saranya. And they are answering in all this. Chapter number 4 till chapter number 19 is the answer to all those 4 questions. Yeah, very nice. So, what was the reason that Pariksit Maharaj left his kingdom and sat at one place? What was the reason behind that? Very nice. What else? 3 more questions. First question was, what is the history of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam? When it was spoken first? Second question was, what are the births and activities of Pariksit Maharaj? So that is described in the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. We hear the birth and activities of Pariksit Maharaj. In fact, chapter number 7 onwards, it's all about Pariksit Maharaj or something related to Pandavas, Yudhishthira Maharaj, Bhishma Pitama, various activities which led to birth of Pariksit Maharaj finally, and then further his activities. So Bhishma Pitama, giving up his body and glorifying Krishna, then Kunti Maharani prayers, all this goes on under the section birth and activities of Pariksit Maharaj. And then after that, third question was, why Pariksit Maharaj gave up everything? Why gave up everything? Which we are reading right now in this 18th chapter, that the reason for him to give up everything. And what was the last question? Yeah. Yes, Ananta Shantipur remembers very nicely. His question was that Sukadeva Goswami, how he was received by the sages and all the men at the bank of the Ganga. How he was welcomed, how he was received by them. And he was the one who would always spend time only, how long? At a house, as long as the milking of the cow. But there he stayed for so long time. So how he was welcomed and how come he spent so much time? So these are the 4 questions asked by the sages of Nami Saranya to Sut Goswami. And in answer to this question, we see the whole first canto has come up, which describes about history of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, birth and activities of Pariksit Maharaj, the reason why Pariksit Maharaj gave up everything, and how Sukadeva Goswami was welcomed. So today we are reading from the 18th chapter, where it also talks about Maharaj Pariksit cursed by a Brahmana boy. Shri Shri Radha Madhav ki jai, Shri Shri Jagannath Baldev Subhadra Maiya ki, Shri Shri Gaur Nitai ki, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So this beautiful verse, very nice verse, it is a verse which you can memorize because it's a very nice verse, talks about the glories of Kali Yuga. It talks about the glories of Kali Yuga. So here, it is glorifying Maharaj Pariksit. In fact, last 6-7 verses of this chapter talks about Maharaj Pariksit only. Like first verse says, Maharaj Pariksit was saved by Krishna from the Aswathama's weapon. Second verse says, Maharaj Pariksit was not fearful of the snake bird. Third verse says, Maharaj Pariksit took shelter of Sukadeva Goswami. Fourth verse says that it just talks about great devotees who have dedicated their lives, they remember Krishna at the last moment. 5th verse talks about that how Maharaj Pariksit was so great that there was no chance for Kali to flourish. It's all about Maharaj Pariksit only. And what was the 6th verse yesterday we discussed? 6th verse. Yesterday we heard 6th verse. When Krishna disappeared, at that time, at that very moment, Kali Yuga entered. That we heard yesterday. That is the quality of Kali Yuga. Yesterday we heard that as the moment Krishna left from this planet, that moment the Kali personality entered into this world. And today now we are talking from the 7th verse, again which talks about Maharaj Pariksit. So all these verses are talking about Maharaj Pariksit. So today's verse, Maharaj Pariksit was a realist, like the bees who only accept the essence of a flower. He knew perfectly well that in this age of Kali, auspicious things produce good effects immediately, whereas inauspicious acts must be actually performed to render effects. So he was never envious of the personality of Kali. So Maharaj Pariksit, again, great quality. Nanu dvesti kalim samrat. He was not dvesti, he was not envious to the Kali. Although we hear in the first canto of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam that what kind of effects Kali Yuga is spreading. What are those effects? No, what kind of effects? The Kali personality, because of Kali personality. What is happening? First canto of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, first chapter, 10th verse. Praya nalpayasa sabhya kala asminuge jana manda sumanda matyo manda bhagahi upadruta. So it talks about how in Kali Yuga everyone will have praya alpayasa sabhya, short life, manda, sumanda matyo, manda bhagya, and upadruta, always disturbed. So all these things are mentioned about Kali Yuga. And how in Kali Yuga so much of, we can see right now, the 4 regulative principles are broken and people are not even conscious, they are not even guilty of doing that. They feel it's very natural. In fact, they justify breaking 4 regulative principles very logically, and many times even they quote from scriptures that it is right to break regulative principles, like eating non-veg and all. Even they will say, well, Lord also ate. So that's how is Kali Yuga. But it is said that Maharaj Pariksit was not at all envious of Kali Yuga. He gave Kali Yuga some place, and there is no chance for Kali Yuga to flourish, because he knew the good qualities of Kali Yuga. And what did he do? He focused on the good qualities of Kali Yuga. So it is said about Maharaj Pariksit is that Saranga eva sarabhuk. Saranga, so Sara means essence, and Saranga, Ga means one who goes, or Gamayanti. So Saranga means was one who takes the essence and goes, doesn't look to the dirty part. So in the similar way, Maharaj Pariksit saw the essence of this age, that how this age is very good in one way. Prabhupada explains the glories of Kali Yuga in the purport. So he saw the essence, he took that and he tried to spread that. And what was the good thing he saw? Kushalani asu siddhanti. Auspicious things immediately become successful. Netrani kritaniyat. Whereas inauspicious things, until unless they are not performed, you don't get sin for that. If it is just in the mind, Prabhupada explains in the purport that if good things are just done in the mind also, you will get benefit for it. Isn't it? Prabhupada writes in the purport. A living being in this age is awarded with the results of pious acts simply by thinking of them. If you just think of it. Sitting, you can think here, you have distributed 700 crores Bhagavad Gita, to every person on this planet. Sitting here, you can think, you have made nice stone and jewel bedecked temple for the Lord. You can do sitting, everything. Then you will say sitting, thinking only I chanted 16 rounds also today. So we don't have to misuse the facility given, but it is for the purpose that if sometimes we are incapable, at least we can always serve the Lord in the mind also. But if we are capable, we should do as per our capacity. But we can desire big things for the Lord. We can desire whatever we can do in our capacity, we should try to do best. And whatever we cannot do in our capacity, we can offer in the mind. We were having few days back deity worship course, so they were teaching us that in the morning there is something called Shodasa Upchar, 16 Upcharas done to the Lord. So everything has to be done. There are two kinds of Upcharas. One is called Manas and one is called Bahya. So this Bahya Upchar is something which you do physically everything. But before that, the most important is Manas. Manas means you do everything in the mind. So every Upchara has to be done in the mind. Because in the mind you can get best of the things. So explaining that, in the mind you can get the milk all the way from Surabhi cow and offer it to Krishna. But when you do Bahya, you are getting the milk from the cow has eaten all kind of things. The cow has eaten some poster of a filmy movie. The cow has eaten different kind of foods. So although the cow is giving the milk, but the kind of food which cow is given is not all pure, the kind of food taken by the cow. But in the mind you can think, oh, I am getting the milk from the Surabhi cow and I am offering it to Krishna. So before Bahya Puja, there is Manas Puja. Doing everything in the mind, getting everything from the best of the places, in the most purest form, and offer it to Krishna. So, and then do Bahya Puja. And they said, Sitalanga Prabhu is explaining that more important than Bahya Puja is actually Manas Puja. Because it can be done in the most of the purest way, getting most of the best of the things for Krishna, which is not possible when we are doing physical worship. So that is the benefit in this age of Kali, that simply by thinking. So we do in our best capacity. Whatever we cannot do, we can do in our mind. We can meditate and offer it to Krishna. Everything. And sinful act, sometimes it comes in the mind, but we don't have to worry. We have to immediately remove those thoughts, because if we meditate on it, it starts from the thought and then it goes into the actions. But in previous yuga, if somebody thinks also, he will get the sinful reaction for that. There's a famous pastime for that. Someone knows? Thinking itself. Rupa Goswami is the right now only. Previous yuga. The example is of the mother of Parshuram. What's her name? Renuka. So she was blessed that she could go to the river, take the wet mud and make a pot of the wet mud, and she can bring the water. We cannot make a pot with wet mud, but she could do that. Collect the mud from the river, make a pot there only and bring water. She was so chaste. One day she went to the bank of the river and she was collecting. She saw in the river reflection of some Gandharvas going up in their plane. And she thought, oh, such a beautiful man. As soon as she thought like this, she lost her chastity. And now she is trying to make, she is not able to make. She lost her purity, she is not able to make the pot. And when she goes back, her husband, what's his name? Jamdagini Rishi. He realized that she has lost her chastity. So he immediately told her sons, your mother has lost her chastity, cut off her neck. And no one agreed. Then he told Parshuram, cut her, slit her throat, cut her. And Parshuram immediately took her Parsu and killed. Then Jamdagini was very pleased. He said, what blessings you want? He asked for 2-3 blessings. First he said, bring my mother back to life. Then second blessing, she should not remember that I have killed her. And also Jamdagini told to kill all the sons also, because they also did not follow him. So he said, bring them also back to life. So Jamdagini he got everyone back to life, and they also forgot that Parsuram killed them. So great sages who have that power, they can give such instruction, because they can undo also their instructions. They can Again, they can bring back. They have, if they are saying kill, they also have the power to bring back to life. So one example we know in scriptures of from the Parshuram's life, that thinking only itself led to loss of the strength. But in Kali Yuga, that is the blessing, that if we just think of good activities, we can get the pious results for that. And then further Prabhupada explains in the purport that there's a great advantage. One can attain salvation simply by chanting the holy name of the Lord. Kala, what is that verse? Kaler dosha nidhe rajan asti eka mahan guna kirtana deva krishnasya mukta sangha param vrajet. This Kali Yuga is full of faults. Kaler dosha nidhe rajan. Everywhere is fault. Everywhere is fault. But asti eko mahan guna. There's one good quality. Kirtana deva krishnasya. By chanting the holy names of Krishna, mukta sangha param vrajet. So that's how in Kali Yuga, full of faults. Everywhere we can see faults. I will see faults in all of you. You will see faults in me. That's how is the world. But just by chanting the holy names of the Lord, we can advance, and seeing the good qualities in devotees, we can advance. But if we want to see faults, there is no end to see faults. Like one time, Srila Prabhupada was giving lecture, and after his lecture, one person came and said, Swamiji, your disciples, they are mostly sleeping in the class. 95% they are sleeping in the class, just like now. So, he was like criticizing Prabhupada's disciples. So Prabhupada said, they may be sleeping for 90%, 95% in the class. They are hearing only 5%. They are hearing only 5%. But you see how much service they are doing, how much they are preaching. And you may be listening to 100%, but you are not doing anything. So they are just listening 5%, but they are doing so much of preaching, they are doing so much of book distribution, they are opening temples, they are doing so much, even just listening 5%. So Prabhupada would always see good qualities in his disciples and encourage them. Because if we have to see fault, there is no end. Prabhupada disciples, first time he asked one of his disciples, Shyam Sundar Prabhu, to carve Jagannath deities from the wood. Because they got small deities from the Indian store. And he said, okay, you make a big deity. He's already initiated devotee. He is carving the deity and he has kept a cigarette packet over the Jagannathji. And is smoking. His Jagannathji is not yet installed and is carving. And Prabhupada came and he glorified, you are doing very nice. And he said, why you are having this cigarette between you and Jagannath? You can give it up. And just one loving guidelines, instruction, he just left the smoking. Prabhupada could have done it other way, chastised him, rebuked him, but always sparked, always fanned the small spark which they have, glorified them, encouraged them. Otherwise, if we have to go and see faults in hippies, there is no good quality, only faults only. What is good quality? But we can see just like here, Pariksit Maharaj, who could just take the essence and give that essence to everyone. In the similar way, we see Srila Prabhupada, that he took the essence and he saw the good things. What are the good things? And he just fanned the good things and encouraged them to practice Krishna consciousness, to spread Krishna consciousness. So that is what only we can do in this Kali Yuga. If we see everywhere, in everything, there are faults. But just see the good thing and accept the good things, learn the good things, and share the good things. And do it from your heart, not just verbally, but we should do from the heart. It is described here in purport. Thus Maharaj Pariksit made an organized effort to propagate the chanting of the Lord's holy name, and thus he saved the citizens from the clutches of Kali. So, just like Maharaj Pariksit made an organized effort to spread the chanting of Lord's holy name to curb the effect of Kali, following in his footsteps, we can also try our best that we spread more and more Harinam, we spread more and more scriptures like Bhagavad Gita and Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. It will purify us also, and it will purify the people who are hearing, who are reading, who are chanting with us. It is for this advantage only that the great sages sometimes wish all good for the age of Kali. In fact, in one of the verses of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, it is the Kali Yuga is glorified. Kali Yuga is glorified, and it is said that those who are advanced in knowledge, they actually worship the age of Kali. What is that verse? It's in 11th canto of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. It is said, Kalim sabha jayanti arya gunagya sara bhagina yatra sankirtaneneva sarva swartha abhilabhyate. Those who are actually advanced in knowledge are able to appreciate the essential value of this age of Kali. Such enlightened persons worship Kali Yuga because in this fallen age, all perfection of life can easily be achieved by the performance of Sankirtan. Yatra Sankirtaneneva sarva swartho abhilabhyate. Just by performing Sankirtan, one can get all perfection. And that's why this age of Kali Yuga is even worshipped by great personalities. And the very next verse of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam says, indeed, there is no higher possible gain for embodied souls forced to wander throughout the material world than the Supreme Lord Sankirtan movement, by which one can attain the supreme peace and free oneself from the cycle of repeated birth and death. Another interesting verse in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. My dear king, the inhabitants of Satyuga and other ages eagerly desire to take birth in the age of Kali. It is said here in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam that the people of previous Yuga, they want to take birth in Kali Yuga because this Kali Yuga is so glorious. So although we see so much of nuisance, so much of bad things, all dirty things happening outside, but this Kali Yuga is so glorious because of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's appearance. And it is our great fortune that we are in the Sankirtan movement. But it will be most unfortunate thing if we don't participate in Sankirtan, being in Sankirtan movement. So we should try our best that we also regularly participate in the Sankirtan movement. Participating in Sankirtan movement means participating in Harinam Sankirtan, book distribution. And we should try to do every one of us, each one of us, as much as possible. And that's how we get the benefit of this age of Kali, and the people are also getting benefited. And Prabhupada concludes his purport by saying about Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. In the beginning of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, it is also said that by the recitation of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, the Supreme Lord becomes at once arrested within one's heart. What is that verse? By recitation of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Nashta prayeshu bhadreshu nityam bhagavat sevaya bhagavati uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naistiki. These are some of the great advantages of the age of Kali. And Maharaja Pariksit took all the advantages and did not think any ill of the age of Kali, true to his Vaishnavite cult. So a Vaishnava doesn't see wrong or bad in anything, doesn't complain about anything. That's why we have to understand we are not a Vaishnava. You see the example of Prahlad Maharaj, how much he was tortured by his father. You don't find a single verse in whole Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam where Prahlad Maharaj is criticizing his father or abusing his father and very upset about his father. He is very humble. He is just accepting every situation. And then finally when Lord says, okay, what do you want? He says, okay, please forgive my father. So this is, as it is said, true to his Vaishnavite cult. Or you see the example of Pandavas, how much trouble the Pandavas went through. How much? And Yudhishthira Maharaj knew very well that how much diplomatic, hypocrite, all ill things in Dhritarashtra. Yudhishthira Maharaj knew very well. But even everyone died, Yudhishthira Maharaj let Dhritarashtra rule the kingdom, being at least sit on the position. And when Dhritarashtra left with Vidura, everyone in the night, next day when Yudhishthira Maharaj came to know, he's crying that my dear uncle left. Someone, if he has done so much trouble for us, and if he leaves, we'll be so happy. It's nice he left, He was troubling me so much. But Yudhishthira Maharaj is crying. Next day, when he comes to know that Vidura, Dhritarashtra, they all have left unknowing, without informing him in the night. And he is feeling very, emotional, he is crying. So these are Vaishnavas. This is the quality of a Vaishnava. See, Pariksit Maharaj, he is not seeing what are the ill thing in the age of Kali. He saw what are the good things and he tried to propagate that more and more, so to save the people. So we can also follow in the same footsteps, just like Srila Prabhupada, how he went and saw the good qualities. What are the good qualities in Americans, Europeans, hippies, and encouraged them to take up Krishna consciousness and spread Krishna consciousness and preach all over the world. They are so young, but by the inspiration of Srila Prabhupada, they could go everywhere and spread Krishna consciousness, which we cannot even imagine in today's scenario, the way they have spread Krishna consciousness all over the world. Hare Krishna. So any questions or any comments? Kali and Maya are one and the same. No, it's not same. Maya is the illusory energy of Krishna, and Kali Yuga is the Kali personified of this Yuga. The personification of this Yuga is Kali person. Maya is always in all the Yuga. Maya is working in every Yuga. People are affected by the illusory energy in Satyuga also, Dwapar Yuga also, Treta Yuga also. So, it's different. Also in this verse we can learn that one should be like a honey bee. The honey bee will go and take only honey. And the other bee, which is like the, flies, they will go and take only garbage. But honey bee will go, even if there's a plant, all garbage is there, it will only go to the flower, take the honey and go away. Just take the good things. So that is the quality of a Vaishnava. He just sees the good things, accept the good things and share with others. You wanted to ask one question, bro. Yesterday's lecture was given by Madhur Kanai Prabhu, so he can answer that
Sir,
question.
I could not ask question, so if you permit me.
Please, at
Yeah.
least you share the question, we will see.
It is mentioning that after Krishna left, this Kali has become, predominant something. Even Krishna was present that time also 125 years something. Krishna came to remove the adharma. So that means Kali was there in different form or something that time also, now became more official after Krishna left in Kali Yuga. How to understand?
Kali was there or not, I don't know, but the effect of, as it is, why we have to speculate. It is mentioned here that Kali came when Krishna left. This means Kali came when Krishna left. It is mentioned in Bhagavatam as it is, so we can just learn from that verse. Clearly it is mentioned. The very day and moment the personality of Godhead, Lord Sri Krishna, left this earth, the personality of Kali, who promotes all kinds of irreligious activities, came into this world. So Kali came when Krishna left. There were irreligious kings in Treta Yuga also, like Lord Ramchandra came. Why? Because Ravana became very powerful. Similarly, Krishna came. Why? Because so many demons became very powerful and they prayed for Krishna for his appearance. So it happens that the demonic power slowly becomes powerful and Lord comes, but that is not applicable on people in general. That is the demonic influence and demonic power which becomes very powerful. But in Kali Yuga it is said, Prayan Alpayusa Sabhya, it is said in general. In previous Yuga it is not said, it is in general. In this Yuga it is in general. Like some devotees, they say that in different yugas, the demons were at different places, Like in Kali Yuga, say demons and devotee and demonic mentality is within one person only. Within one person only. Whereas in previous Yuga, it was on different people, like Pandavas and Kauravas. And before that, it was separate, all like Lord Ramchandra is here and Ravan is in Lanka. And before that was different planets only. Demons would be on different planets, devotees on different planets. Now everyone is within one only. Demons also and demoniac mentality also and devotional feeling also. But we have to feed our devotional thoughts more and more. Hare Krishna. Granthra Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki, Jagat Guru Śrīla Prabhupada ki, Jai Gaur Premanande. So, I request the ashram devotees to please take prasadam. The bus is ready. And we immediately go and learn to improve our chanting by attending the Japa retreat session today as well as tomorrow by Bhurujan Prabhu in ISKCON Abbots, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. I don't know, but we are going. And today evening we also go for Hinam, so when we come back, please be ready to leave again at 4:30 to do what is written in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, to perform, participate in Harinam Sankirtan and hear wonderful Vrindavan pastimes from His Grace Deenbandhu Prabhu. So that will be a very Krishna conscious day for us. Hare Krishna.